When it comes to digital education, the way you implement e-learning in a practical sense can massively impact its success at your school. In order to make sure that your students and staff have the best experience, here are a few guidelines to help you get maximum benefit out of introducing e-learning at your school. I'm Steve, and I'm going to be giving you some tips on implementing e-learning into the classroom. Firstly, before we even talk about laptops or mobile phones, projectors or smartboards, you should make sure that your school has the basics available. This means that you should have an internet solution in place. Once you have this in place, you can then take some time to research which devices will work best for your school, both in terms of cost and functionality. Check the device specifications and make sure that the devices you choose are able to run the programs and software that you need. You may find that some platforms or apps only run on specific operating systems, for example. We also recommend that you get students and staff all using the same type of device in the classroom. While it might be easier to get students to bring different devices from home, it's much easier for the teacher if the whole class is using the same system, as you can then help the whole class at the same time. For example, if you need students to click on settings, this icon might be in a different place on different devices. It's much easier when everyone's looking at the same thing. While there are lots of different ways for students to use devices, both in and out the classroom, you can also look at how to use technology for front-of-class teaching. This could be as simple as using a projector or television to show multimedia content to your students. You could also connect your laptop to a larger screen to give your class a digital presentation or show them how to navigate the internet. Interactive smartboards like Promethean also make it possible for you to share content and collaborate easily. Whatever front-of-classroom technology you decide to use, there are so many ways to pull up content in front of the whole class and go through things together. Whether you're looking at e-learning platforms, a learning management system, or e-reading apps, it's important to choose tools that give each student the best chance of success. Firstly, pick digital tools that have offline capabilities too. Digital learning is wonderful, but it doesn't always have to be online. If there are interruptions to your internet connection or your students need to save on data, there's no reason that learning needs to be interrupted. A great example of this is your Snaplify Reader app, which allows you to read all your ebooks offline wherever you are. You'll also want to make sure that you're easily able to share content with students digitally, and that the tools you use come with the academic features you need to make e-learning easy and user-friendly. Being able to make notes and highlights or add links inside an ebook, for example, are great ways for students to learn and revise. To make e-learning even more accessible, be on the lookout for features like being able to use a dyslexic font that is specifically designed to make it easy for dyslexic students to read and learn, or text-to-speech functionality, which makes it easier for students with reading disabilities to consume content. Make sure you've worked out how students are going to charge devices, whether at home or at school. And wherever they charge them, make sure the battery will last long enough. The last thing you want is learners using "my device wasn't charged" excuse, which is pretty much the 21st century version of "the dog ate my homework." You may want to include a charging station at school. These types of things can also be ironed out in your school's device policy. But whatever you decide, it's important for students to know what's expected of them. Digital education is positive for so many reasons, but the technology must be used intentionally. You may want to consider locking devices to specific applications to minimize distractions and ensure students are only using these devices for the intended use. Again, this can be covered in your school's device policy. In the digital age, it is critical that children are not only taught the skills to navigate the internet safely, but also that we ensure that their data privacy is protected. The way your school prioritizes privacy can be detailed in your device policy, but it's also important for you to make sure that the e-learning tools you sign up for are also taking user privacy seriously. Ultimately, the success of e-learning in your school is dependent on you as teachers and how informed and enthusiastic you are about making it worthwhile. I'll leave you with this quote by George Couros. Technology will not replace great teachers, but technology in the hands of great teachers can be transformational.